Alright, what's going on, y'all? It's Cooper here, one half of FCSN, and the College Football Playoff Committee has set the top for the Final Four. Who is in the College Football Playoff has been finalized and confirmed. Ohio State at 4, Florida State at 3, Oregon 2, and Alabama at 1. So for this video, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it and then what I think about the teams that were left out. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Ohio State at 4. There is a ton of debate here. At 4. Before we get everything started, I'm just going to go ahead and say we need to expand to 8 teams. No more than 8. 8 is fine. My plan for it is an 8-team playoff, 5 automatic bids if you win a Power 5 conference. So if you win any of the Power 5 conferences, you are automatically in, no matter what your record is. Like if Georgia Tech beat Florida State, Wisconsin beat Ohio State, for example, they'd be in the playoff. And then there's 3 at-large bids. So let's say Missouri beat Alabama, and Alabama's still a good team. They have a chance for that at-large bid. Or somebody like TCU or Baylor is complaining they're not in, could have one of those at-large bids. So there's 8 teams total, 5 conference champions, 3 at-large. That's just how I think it should be. We'll see what happens in the future. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump straight into it, though. At the 4th spot, Ohio State really came out and came to play. That's almost like an understatement for what they did to Wisconsin in that conference championship with the Big Ten. They were like number 5. They were number 5 from the outside looking in, and Florida State was at 4. They went out and they just did what they needed to do. You could not have made any more of a statement. They played as good as they could possibly play. They couldn't have helped their resume any more than what they did. There's a lot of question about Cardale Jones. Would he be able to come out and replace Braxton Miller, or not Braxton Miller, I'm sorry, J.T. Barrett? And how would he respond in a big stage like this with everything on the line? He shut everybody up and he came to play. And this Ohio State team is playing their best football at the right time. I know like all Baylor people and TCU people can say, oh, they lost Virginia Tech. Our losses were way better than that. But this is a completely different Ohio State team right now. And they just went in a big championship game, like I said, and just made a statement. When it comes to TCU, they were at 3 and they dropped to 6. They said, oh, why did they drop them so far? They said the gap between Florida State and TCU was marginal last week. In my opinion, they shouldn't even move TCU up to 3 in the first place, because if they're going to do this later, I'm not a big fan of that. But TCU didn't do anything to hurt their schedule. TCU did nothing wrong. This past weekend, they played a 2-10 team in Iowa State. Did what they need to do. TCU did everything they could do in that game to beat them 55-3. They didn't really help their resume. They didn't hurt it. It's just they did what they needed to do. You know who TCU is. It's just a matter of fact that Ohio State went out and did that. And then they've been playing such great football since. And they're just impressive. They're very impressive. TCU and their conference played one less game. The Big 12 screwed themselves over a little bit by not having that extra game. They're eventually either going to get a signing off where they can say, oh, we have just 10 teams and we can still play a conference championship, or they're going to be able to just expand a little bit and add 2 teams to make the Big 12 actually have 12 teams. Baylor, on the other hand, they finished out at 5. A head-to-head matchup versus TCU was finally valued. But again, no conference championship for the Big 12, and as well as the fact that their out-of-conference schedule was not very good. I think they had like 128th and 128th out-of-conference schedule, and you've got to do better than that. If you see a team like Florida State, if you argue Florida State shouldn't be in there, Florida State went and played Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, and Florida, all brand names, all household names, out-of-conference, and you got to keep in mind they schedule these games years ahead. So all you can do is schedule big names and hope that you are where they usually are. Notre Dame at the time was ranked high, but they fell out a little bit. But still, you got to give them credit for trying to schedule a team like that. Let's go ahead and move on to the 3 spot. Florida State, what can you say? They know how to win. I think they play up or down to the level of their opponent. You may disagree with me with that. But to my personal opinion, I'm not saying they're going to beat anybody, but it doesn't matter who they play. They're going to play up to the level of the competition, or they will play down to it. If they play Alabama, they will give them a run for their money. I'm not saying they're going to beat them. I'm just saying when they rise to whatever occasion or whatever adversity is thrown their way, it's just the way their makeup is, the way their mindset works. That's just how they play. Very impressive team. They know how to win. They can turn it on and off. When they're rolling, I don't think there's a better team in the country, but they're so inconsistent. They've been turning it off. So I don't think it's fair to throw them in the top 2. I'm actually okay with Florida State at 3 right now. I think the committee got this one right. Move on, number 2, Oregon almost made a case for number 1 over the weekend, the way they played versus Arizona, the team that beat them. Mariota is definitely a lock for that Heisman. He's been playing very well, and this team is starting to just get better and better, playing with a ton of momentum. Similar to Ohio State, Oregon and Ohio State are both playing their best football at the right times, And this Oregon-Florida State matchup, Jameis Winston versus Marcus Mariota, is going to be a ton of fun to watch. Oregon much deserving of this number 2 spot. Move on to number 1, Alabama, also playing some of their best football at the right time. They have that one loss to Ole Miss. Besides that, they've been a great team through the year. And that one almost loss to Arkansas, that wasn't impressive. Besides that, though, Amari Cooper, legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. The defense is legit, and Blake Sims is definitely have turned into a good quarterback for them, making plays all over the place. And he's actually a guy that, rather than a game manager, he's a guy that can be a weapon. Alabama would not want to play them right now. This will also be a great matchup. Big matchups across the board. And that's your top 4. Like I said, 4 teams. I think they generally need to expand a little bit, just to make it a little bit more, not fair, but just less debate and minimize the debate. Because we're number 9, because you can really say we're one of the best teams. Top 8, I think it's good, especially if you have the conference champions and the at-large bids. And then overall, people are gonna say, not overall. I've seen some Baylor and TCU fans, say like, oh, these are all brand names in here, all just powerhouses. Like, we get left out because our name is at Ohio State, our name is at Alabama, our name is in Florida State. It's not that. I mean, they really are just impressive resumes. And then Big 12, you hurt yourself, you shot yourself in the foot not having the conference championship. That's my opinion on the whole situation, though. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the college football playoff, if you're happy or upset with it. In my opinion, they got the job done. They did the right thing. I don't like how the process was to get here. I don't like how they move teams around so much. I don't like a lot of their reasons for moving teams. I don't like a lot of the standards that they have. And sometimes they don't even have standards. They contradict themselves sometimes. But the final result, I think they got the top 4 teams right in the nation. That's my personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Cooper, signing out.